joining us once again here back on the program, now in support of his new show that premieres tonight on the CW at 9 Eastern Time, Good Cop, Bad Cop. Clancy Brown is back here on the show. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Looks like a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Leighton and Luke are terrific. They're really quite talented. Luke is a total find. Leighton was a star on Gossip Girl.
Yes, sir.
Right? Gossip Girl for CW. And,
that's right. She's still in the CW here. Fantastic.
And now we're all part of the Roku family, too, because I guess we're going to stream on Roku.
Ladies and gentlemen, Clancy Brown.
Yes.
There is no I in Clancy Brown. He's a team player here on the Roku Sports Channel at this point in time. 9 Eastern on the CW, airing tonight, Good Cop, Bad Cop. Check out that series premiere. So it's great to have you back on the show.
It's good to be here.
And, we'll talk more about your new show in a second, but I just have to, again, commend you and the cast of The Penguin. What a show.
It's a good show.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
When you first received the script for that, what'd you think when you first got that?
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that they were going where they were going, that it was as dark and as mean as it was, but it was also very realistic, I thought. It's like super hyper realistic and kind of a neat little origin story for the Penguin, which I always associated with Burgess Meredith, with the top hat and the thing waddling around.
Yeah, with the long extended cigarette holder, right?
But then they put Colin Farrell, one of the best looking men in the world, in a ton of makeup and a fat suit, and turned him into one of the ugliest characters you ever want to see on TV.
And you're not wrong about the darkness of it. It just kept finding a new bottom, quite frankly, watching this show as well. And was Colin Farrell always in character because he was in that makeup all the time?
Well, for all intents and purposes, he was. I mean, I never met him. I never met Colin Farrell. I always met this guy, Oz Cobb. But after a take, you would hear Colin's accent and voice come out of this character, this body. So he wasn't always in character.
Okay.
But he was always in the character. I mean, he couldn't get out of that.
So you never saw him as himself.
Never saw him as himself until I was at the New York premiere, and then
Whoa.
And went up to him to congratulate. I sort of had to hold him a little bit and feel him because he was so much smaller and not fat and like really handsome.
Right.
I mean, that's not why I held him, but it was like, but he was just such a, I couldn't believe that was the guy. I couldn't believe that Colin was the guy that was in that suit.
Well, neither can I, just watching it, because you just forget it is him inside that suit because of how amazing he is, and then the cast around him. You guys were just so great.
Yeah, well, that's a good script. Like Good Cop, Bad Cop. If it's a good script, it's easy to do. I mean, the script does all the work for you.
Right. I've got I'm spoiler alert. I wish your character had a better end in the Penguin as well.
He did. He did have a good end. He didn't let the Penguin get him.
That is true. That is that is true when you think about it in the long run.
He didn't let Oz get him. He got himself.
That is true as well. You guys have to see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it yet. On the list.
They
Apologies.
have not. No, but I whipped through it in a span of just a couple of flights, and then, like I told you, I watched the last 2 episodes on a big screen.
Yeah, dude, because you have to. So dark. And the lady that wrote it, the team that wrote it, but the lady that led it is this little tiny, beautiful young lady who looks like she's 15, and she just writes the sickest garbage. It's the worst characters on earth. They're horrible. They're horrible. They do terrible things to each other.
Do you like playing that, or what you're kind of playing right now in Good Cop, Bad Cop? I mean, which type of character do you like playing in your vast career?
I like the checks. I like the checks. If they want me to do that, I'll definitely do Salvatore Maroni and DC thing, and let Colin Farrell toss me around. If I need to look like an out of it sextagenarian, which is what I am,
right,
in front of two really talented young actors, then I will do that as well.
But you don't have a preference or anything?
No, I
like
mean,
that?
I kind of wanted to do Good Cop, Bad Cop. It was so different.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like to turn the page on stuff.
Well, certainly if you're doing one role like the Penguin, you can now do something that's different. You kind of mix it up in that respect.
Yeah, I don't want to do that guy forever.
Well, again, you were great in Billions as well, playing the Attorney General.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
Well, that was
Billions?
The creators of that. I had met years and years ago.
Koppelman and Levine, right?
Yeah, Levine and Koppelman, and we had talked about doing one of their movies that they were going to direct, and it didn't work out. And then they called me out of the blue, maybe 15, 20 years later, and said, "Hey, we got this part for you. Want to do?" And they're terrific writers. I mean, they're some of the best writers ever, and that's really the key to my success is just working with great writers.
Right.
Because then, like I said, I don't have to make stuff up. I don't have to work. This is very difficult for me.
What is difficult?
Talking to you and
Why?
and being myself on camera and making up stuff because I don't have a script in front of me to.
Even if I'm wearing, by the way, this is my fat suit.
Okay.
Yeah, that I'm wearing right now. I did this. I spent 3 hours in makeup today. No, but I mean, it is.
But you look like you.
Nah, you know what? I appreciate that. It's the makeup. Clancy Brown here on the Rich Eisen Show. So I want to bounce a theory about Shawshank off of you here. Okay. The theory is that the end of the film, the beautiful ending of the film, the film moment that gets your heart going, and it just is a wonderful, warm finish to this film. It is a fantasy, that it is a dream sequence that doesn't really exist, that it's just like the moment where, I guess, where Red, was here. That's the moment where the movie ended, and that everything after that is just a dream. What are your thoughts on that subject?
I think you've been watching The Penguin.
Too much conspiracy theory?
Too much dark. That things can't end in a fairy tale way.
So you think the movie ended in that manner?
Well, I know it did. I know it did. I know that's what happened. Yeah.
Because it is a beautiful ending. I guess I don't know why.
Perfect.
It was a perfect ending to the film.
Good.
Well,
there you go.
I know, and I should just leave it there. But that's what I was reading, and I was hearing that there was these moments. That was too pat. It was too beautiful of an ending.
As a reaction, or somebody saying they had some kind of inside knowledge that it got rewritten.
It didn't get rewritten. That was the general intent of it. That it was that either Andy never got to Zihuatanejo, and Morgan Freeman's character never got out, and he never found the box, and he actually offed himself. In the same spot.
That is dark.
It is dark, but this is Stephen King, though, brother, right? At its very base.
He also wrote The Body, the Stand By Me story. I don't think they changed that one too much.
No,
but now I don't know. Now you've got me thinking.
Oh no!
Now you've got me thinking. I've got to read the short story again.
When you see this photograph on the screen, what do you think when you see that, Clancy?
I think that is a man who just got married.
Is that right?
That's right. I got married during that show. Yeah.
During the filming of Shawshank Redemption, you got
I almost
married.
didn't do it because I had my date, and it was right in the middle of the filming, and we had to negotiate around that date, and so I threatened to throw Tim off the roof, and then hopped in a car with my sister and drove to Chicago and got married and came back.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
My sister, by the way,
yes.
I don't know why it is. Every time I come on the show, it's like one of my family's birthday.
Okay.
Last time it was my mom's. Today's my sister's birthday.
Hey. Fantastic.
Happy birthday, Kate.
Happy birthday, Kate.
Yeah.
So, so the famous scene on the roof.
Yeah.
Okay, where the convicts
Drink up ladies.
They're tarring the roof, right? And they're drinking beers and whatever, and you are up there making sure that their lives are as miserable as possible.
Right.
You threaten to throw Tim Robbins, Andy Dufresne off the roof.
Right.
But in real life, after that moment, you get in a car and you get married.
Right.
Then you come back and finish.
Then I come back and finish, yeah.
You're an excellent actor. You're an excellent actor.
I didn't tell my father-in-law that's what was going on.
I mean, I guess, what is your favorite line of yours that you delivered from that film? Clancy.
I can't say it on television.
Really?
No, I mean, it's pretty dark. It's pretty...
Well, I mean, can you clean it up at all?
Yeah, well, there's a few of them, but none of them I can't say. You fat effing barrel of monkey dude. I don't know. How do you say it?
Okay. Well, you said it with such brio in the film.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Well, it was fun. It's fun to say that. So they actually wrote it, so I get to say it.
And you shot it in your home state, right?
Yeah, it was in Mansfield, Ohio. Yeah. Mansfield, Ohio, Mansfield Reformatory. As a matter of fact, we just had a 30-year anniversary, and a bunch of us went back to that reformatory. It was going to be torn down, but a bunch of architects, local architects, saved it. And now it's a monument or a park or whatever it is. And they have regular screenings of the show, and they have tours. They go through this horrible maximum security prison, and then where they really make their money though is they have a haunted house throughout October, and they do heavy metal concerts in the yard. So that's
Get out of here!
Yeah, that's where they make their real money.
So
go to Mansfield, Ohio. Go visit Mansfield. Go to the reformatory and have a good time. They'll lock you in the cell and do all sorts of fun stuff like that.
Where some horrible things happen. Who was there in the 30th
Let's
anniversary?
see, we had Bob Gunton and Bill Sadler, Frank Darabont, the writer-director,
Right.
Gil Bellows, and Mark Ralston.
What was that like for you to go back there?
It was weird. I had brought my daughter. I told her that she didn't really have to go. It's just going to be a bunch of old actors talking about how great they were 30 years ago, and she said, "No, I want to go." And she came. I came in the reformatory. I was like, "Oh yeah, boy, I remember what it was like to be here." And she goes in the reformatory. She goes, "I got to get out of here. This place. I got to get out of here before it gets dark, because this place is got some bad juju in it, and it really does. It's a horrible place, but they're turning it into a moneymaker."
Do you have any good Morgan Freeman stories from the shooting of this film?
Let's see. Morgan told me a story about his agent. I think it was his agent, or it was one of the agents. His agents got a call saying. And this is based on a short story called Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. And Rita Hayworth was one of the posters.
Yes.
Right, that covered up the excavation. And Morgan tells a story about how he got his agent said this, got a call about how much from another agent about how much they loved the script and how wonderful it was. And that was no secret. It was a very popular script in Hollywood at the time. And boy, what a great movie it's going to be, and congratulations, Morgan, and all the rest of that. But I just want to put a little bug in your ear. Think about Julia Roberts for Rita Hayworth.
In the film?
Yeah. So clearly, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. Apparently there was lots of casting of Rita Hayworth going on. But there's no Rita Hayworth in the film.
That's
So that's the punchline.
They
right?
didn't read the script.
Oh, see, it's like agents. It's an agent joke.
So
How good was that script? I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah, I laughed, and Morgan just shook his head. That was so fun. That's my Morgan Freeman story.
Mike Del Tufo, our sound engineer.
I have a good question for you.
Go for it.
Well, by the way, it's got to be a good. Now that you said it's a good
Yeah,
question.
I got a good.
Yeah, I'll try to have a good answer.
Okay.
Highlander, one of the greatest lines in that movie. I have something to say. It's better to burn out the fadeaway. You make that up. You pulled that.
That line has never been made up. That line. It's
a song.
That's
but
a
did
Neil
you add it
Young
in yourself?
movie. Yeah. I was listening to either Neil Young or
I think
what's the other one? Def Leppard did a little
Def
thing
Leppard,
with it, right?
Rock of Ages.
Yeah, right on Rock of Ages.
Is that where you pulled? I love it. So that's
Yeah,
actually a
and-
true story because I heard that for years.
Yeah.
That you ad-libbed that, and I had to find
Yeah,
out
I did
in
ad-lib
person.
it.
So
But
you
I didn't really ad-lib it. I just stole it.
Well,
I
you
stole
it, but you made it. They just kept shooting.
I
They kept filming.
re-stole it from
Yeah.
Def Leppard, who stole it from Neil Young, who...
It's like fantastic. It's like one of the greatest because you're in the church. It's, man, it's amazing.
So what happens for those who might not be familiar? What's the story here with
The
this?
story is there's a scene in the church, and my character, I don't remember what happens in the church. I meet up with
Nothing good.
the Highlander.
Yeah,
we,
right.
We have a little, we have a little talk because we can't kill each other on sacred ground or something. And then as I leave, I put out all the votaries, all the candles that are there, and I say, I have something to say. It's better to burn out than fade away. And then I leave. I mean, that's the end of the story. That's what it is.
simple.
But it's a button on the scene, and I just kind of made it up.
So that was not in the script. You
No,
just
it wasn't.
decided to just have that in your head. And you
But
just,
back when I used to be able to do that. Now I can't do it.
come on now, Clancy.
I love it.
Come
I
on.
can't do it anymore.
Don't say that. Good Cop, Bad Cop airs tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on the CW, and everyone should go check that out right here on the Roku channel portal as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yep.
Look at us doing the same thing.
Nice.
Are you concerned about the Cincinnati Bengals?
No, not anymore. They just raised the salary cap. We're going to sign them all. That's great. That's great news.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're, this just in. Mike Brown's not known for taking that salary cap money and spending it all. Clancy, I don't. I
What's he
imagine.
going to do with it?
I imagine you're not related to the Brown family, just a
no.
different Brown family of Ohio.
No, big fan of Paul, but that's. No, I know. Mike Brown has a bad reputation.
Well, I mean, a rep on maybe. I don't know why you would not sign Jamar Chase.
I don't
last year when you know that there's this also that's coming down the pike.
But also maybe a good year not to sign him because they didn't make it very far. They didn't recoup as much revenue as they could. They couldn't win the first 5 games or whatever.
They started 0-3 and things got a little bit dicey, but Jamar Chase still won the Triple Crown.
Of course. But now what a great! I mean, I'm on Jamar Chase's team, Jamar Chase's side.
Yes,
I'm on his team.
I'm sure you would.
I'm not on the management team. All right,
but let's get him signed. Let's get them all signed.
We have room now.
But having Joe Burrow as your quarterback has got to be like a dream come true to just watch him play, right?
And the first dream was Palmer's brother.
Yeah, Carson.
Right, that was the first dream.
Right.
And then he got hurt. So
correct.
When Burrow went down, I was like, oh my God, this is not going to happen. But
now he's the comeback player of the year, and we'll see what they can do.
Science has progressed.
Right. And so you're a Reds fan as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cincinnati guy all the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was your
guy?
guy?
A Dodger fan. I mean, I live here. I mean,
Who was your guy growing up when you were growing up in Cincinnati? Who was your guy?
Tony Perez.
Tony Perez.
Oh yeah, big Tony Perez guy. Loved Bench, loved Rose, loved Lee May for the brief time that he was there. Joe Morgan, loved all those guys.
Sure.
But Tony Perez was my guy.
Yeah, the big red
Third baseman, as a matter of fact.
Hey!
When I loved him.
Come on.
Did he play?
He could play for the Red
He
Sox.
could play for the Red Sox. And he would move to first.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. He would have moved to first and been an all-star there, too.
What we need, I guess.
That's what you need.
You know,
I like it.
all the best ball players are third basemen. They all start out at third. They can play anywhere.
Pete Rose played first base for the championship Philadelphia Phillies.
There you go.
I always remembered he would always, if he recorded the last out of an inning, he would take the baseball and he would spike it down on that turf, and it would bounce way up in the air. I just remember that. The Wheeze kids, that's how they were known, because they were so. I think Joe Morgan was on that team too, right? Yeah. I think he was on the Philadelphia Phillies team too. Hey, this has been a pleasure having you back here. Come back anytime,
see you.
Clancy
Yeah.
Brown. Good to see you, man.
Talk about Australia next time. That's where we shot.
Where'd you shoot?
We shot it in Australia.
Good cop, bad cop?
Yeah.
Why Australia?
Because that's where the money is.
Wow.
And the check's clear,
And the
ladies
check's
and
clear.
gentlemen. Okay, fantastic. Everybody, check out Good Cop, Bad Cop, airing tonight, 9 Eastern on the CW, streaming right here also on the Roku channel, as Clancy just said. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.